Welcome to the Encompassing Cancer podcast, brought to you by Cancer Pathways. Throughout our show, we'll dive into the socio-emotional impacts of cancer, share support resources, talk to experts in the community, and hear patient and survivor stories. Really anything that encompasses the cancer experience. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Hello there. I want to start off today's episode with a quick plug for our upcoming annual Bryce Fisher Golf Tournament. If you live in or around the Seattle area, we invite you to come out to the golf club at Newcastle on Friday, July 12th to tee up and play some golf, all while raising money to support Cancer Pathways' free programs and services like this very podcast. This year will be our 17th annual tournament, named after one of our board members, Bryce Fisher, who played for the Seattle Seahawks in 2005 and wanted to start this wonderful tournament in honor of his mother, who was diagnosed with cancer. To learn more or to register, head on over to www.cancerpathways.org/golf. All right, on to our episode and continuing our series focused on survivorship this June. My colleague Terry is our amazing Inland Northwest Community Outreach Manager. She shared a conversation with Mary Jo Kester, who is the Community Health Programs Coordinator for the YMCA of the Inland Northwest. Mary Jo shares how she first got involved with the Livestrong YMCA program, how groups at the Y gave her strength to get through her own breast cancer diagnosis, the process of joining the survivorship program, the power of community and healing, and stories of individuals who have gone through the program. Here's Terry's conversation with Mary Jo.
Hi, I'm Terry Weeding, the Community Outreach Manager for Cancer Pathways. I live and I work in the Inland Northwest, and today I'm speaking with Mary Jo Kester, Coordinator for Livestrong at the YMCA in Eastern Washington. Welcome, Mary Jo. It's another lovely day of sunshine here in Spokane.
Hi, Terry. It's nice to be here with you.
So let's just get started. Please introduce yourself and give me some information about your background and how you got involved with Livestrong.
Well, my name's Mary Jo Kester, and I am currently the Community Health Programs Coordinator for Livestrong at the YMCA, and got started with it back in 2013 and became a lifestyle coach with the program and coached for probably 6-7 years, and then took on the role of coordinator to just help out the director, who was just getting overwhelmed with a lot of work. So stepped in to help her out and take over this program, and then also a caregivers program that the YMCA offers as well for caregivers.
That's fantastic. Was there a personal reason why you got involved?
Yes. Like most of us, we have some type of contact with cancer. And with me, it was very personal. I was a fitness instructor at the Valley YMCA in Spokane in 2010 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And looking back, I think it was a way of denying it or separating myself from the diagnosis, that I had an agreement with my classes that I would continue to teach as long as I could give them the workout that they needed. And there were so many days when I went in to the Y when I did not want to be there, and found that every single time my group just lifted me up and carried me through, shared their energy, shared their enthusiasm, shared their strength, and just their good wishes. And I always felt better when I left. So I found out the power of exercise and movement, as well as the power of community. And in 2012, when the YMCA applied to become a provider for the Livestrong program, we were accepted, and I started the training for that. I wanted in because that's exactly what Livestrong at the YMCA is all about. It's about community, and it's about movement that we enjoy, and it's not just exercise or the grind of what we think an exercise routine is. It's just finding ways to move with joy.
Wow, that was so beautifully said, and I think just communicates that spirit and that soul of the program. and your personal experience with it. And that's great. I am thrilled to hear more about it. I am thrilled to learn more about where it's happening, what branches in Eastern Washington, if you could dive into that.
We have 4 branches in Eastern Washington, one in North Idaho, and we have rotated the Livestrong program around all the 4 branches. We haven't involved North Idaho yet, but we're hoping to in the future. And we're just basically, depending on where the biggest need is where we are locating the program, just because we are so spread out. People from the north side don't always want to go out all the way out to the valley to participate in programs. People from the valley don't always want to go down to central. So we'll move it around depending on where the biggest need is at that moment.
That's fantastic that you're flexible like that. And it's interesting in Spokane because we don't have traffic, but yet we like our little areas of the valley. And I was recently over in Seattle, and trying to go a very short distance took a very long time. So it's interesting our mindsets in different places when it comes to traveling.
Absolutely. I think we just get comfortable in our little communities, and that's where we stay.
So talk about, take me through the process of if I was someone interested in participating, and what's the application process, and what's the commitment, and some of those finer details.
Okay, so the process would be anyone that is interested in participating in the program, we'd ask them to go through an orientation video, and we will do those twice a year, and then those are recorded. So people who are interested in joining in between those actual times, we'll do them in January and we do them in July. And if someone's interested in getting into the program before then, I can share the recording of the video. And it's just a great way to give a total overview of what the program offers and what we expect from participants in return. So there is no cost to this program. So because of that, we have just a strong feeling of stewardship for those donations that fund the program for us. It costs probably about $1,500 per person for someone to go through the program. That funding comes from local community members, from local organizations, from national grants. So we feel just a high responsibility to care for that funding. So the commitment that we ask of participants is that they are planning on being at every single one of our 24 sessions. So we meet twice a week for 12 weeks. And it is a small group environment. And so a maximum of 14 people in each group. So after they would go through the orientation and decide that, yes, this is the right program for me, this is the right time, then we would do a readiness interview and just get to know the participant one-on-one. And they would either meet with me or one of our coaches and just kind of talk about their experience with cancer and what they are looking for, what their goals are. After that, they would go through an application process, and there's about 12 application forms that they would need to fill out that we would do online. And then they are placed into one of our sessions. So back before COVID, we were running 8, 9, 10 sessions a year. Last year, we ran 2. And this year, we're definitely running 2, possibly 3. I would love to be able to do that. But it's just back to slowly building up our program. And right at the moment, it's not so much participants that we are short of, but coaches.
The certified lifestyle coaches, is that the
Yes.
correct title?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
So talk to me about those coaches, what's involved, how do you recruit them, and what is some key attributes you're looking for?
The attributes are just a compassion to work with cancer survivors and the willingness to take the time to actually listen to what their needs are, that this is not so much a prescriptive program is we will offer guidance, but we very much want to hear what the participants' needs are, what their goals are, what they would like to accomplish going forward in their lives, what their vision is for their future wellness journey. And so part of that is just really good listening skills and the empathy. The other part is, and that's probably where we're having the biggest challenge, is this is not full-time work, that it's more passion work for all of us, that most of us have other jobs or occupations that keep the food on the table and the roof overhead. And actually, this probably isn't the type of work that you could do full-time. Just the risk of burnout and fatigue would be overwhelming. So just having enough coaches to circulate through so that we are not taxing them every single session, because said they do pour their hearts and souls out for this program. So that's probably the biggest limitation, but these coaches have a nationally recognized personal training certification. And then they go through about 80 hours of training that we require before they become a coach. So training on how to prescribe exercises that will benefit someone post-treatment, to deal with lymphedema, how to deal with ostomies, ports, how to deal with the muscular trauma that many of our patients have after whether it's reconstruction, whether it's radiation treatments, whatever their surgery treatments are, that they have got quite a bit of physical trauma that we're working with as well, and recognizing and supporting and not increasing injury to that area.
Wow, that's pretty intense, and it's very thorough. And I think from a person who wants to participate in the program, it's very reassuring that this is very comprehensive and that you do vet so carefully.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So is there a particular story or that you'd like to share about, not using names or anything, of, like that you saw something really special happen? I'm sure there's more than one, but is there one you'd like to share?
There's several in every class, and probably one of my favorites recently, we had a very young couple that came through the program, and they happened to find out about it, maybe just a couple weeks before we started the program. So they reached out to me and we were able to get them in. But her backstory is she was a young student. She was going through college and was planning her white picket fence life. She and her husband had been recently married. They were expecting their first baby. And on a routine visit to her prenatal doctor, that her blood work was a little off, and they wanted her to go through a little bit more testing. And several rounds of testing found out that she had a form of leukemia. And because of the type of treatments that were going to be involved, it was about 5 years of treatment that was going to be required for her, that she had to drop out of college. She had to move back east to be with her family so that they had a place to live while she was going through the treatment. So kind of crazy family dynamics and all that. They ended up leaving back there partway through their treatment and moved to Southern Idaho to continue treatment. And then decided they just wanted a whole new fresh start when she was finished up. And for some reason, picked Spokane to move to. And found out about the Livestrong program. So they came here with no idea where they were going to live, with no work, and just wanted a fresh start in life. So through the program, they were able to meet new friends that have became very close friends. They found a new church community to get into. They found housing, they found work, and they are now amazing and thriving, and hopefully looking forward to getting back that picket white fence life that they had originally planned. So
Wow, that is a powerful story. And it sounds like the community aspect of the Livestrong program, um, when you started talking about that. And so when this couple came to Spokane and they got involved, and it just, not only is it helping, it sounds like physically and mentally and spiritually, but it's really just kind of embracing people and helping them live.
mhm.
And when you share a story like that, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling it is just lifts you up in more ways than maybe you anticipated.
Absolutely. And embrace is a lovely word. That's exactly what it does, is the group just wraps their arms around you and lifts you up so that hopefully we don't just continue to live, that we learn how to thrive in spite of our physical challenges or health challenges. And one of the things that I very much appreciate about the Livestrong program is that it's not only the person that was diagnosed with cancer that is called a survivor, their family members, their friends are all co-survivors. When cancer impacts a loved one, the people around them do not go through it unscarred, that they have their own traumas, their own journey, their own pain that they go through. And much of that is incredibly isolating. So one of the things that I appreciate about our local YMCA is that our administration has been very supportive of this program in spite of the high cost of it, that they are continued to offer it, and not only offer the program the way it was designed. It was originally designed as just an exercise program, and some Ys will incorporate that community aspect to it. About 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was doing an orientation for one of the co-survivors groups. And to step back a little bit, we offer not only a membership to a survivor, but we offer a membership for that 12 weeks to someone to go along the program with them. So they have someone embedded that they already know. And I was doing a facility tour for those co-survivor groups. And one of the gentlemen in that group was sharing how fearful he was for his wife, that she was going to be overdoing it. And I explained to him about how well trained our coaches are. That did not make a difference to him. I explained to him the practice of our program is to start very low, and we go very slow just to build a really strong foundation for strength and for endurance, that we don't want to cause any more injury, and explain that philosophy to him. That did not make a difference. And it seemed like no matter what I said, that I couldn't help him feel comfortable with leaving his wife there, that he said, no, 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 you don't understand. She will overdo it. And I talked about maybe he could come along, works alongside with her and keep an eye on her. I said, please stay in touch with our coaches. And that didn't make a difference. And all the way home, I was trying to figure out what in the world I was missing, that I couldn't alleviate his fears. And it dawned on me that maybe what he was really saying is, you don't know us, I don't know you, and you're asking me to trust you with my loved one. And you don't know what we've been through. You don't know how hard it's been for me, that I'm the one at home picking up the pieces and trying to hold it all together. And I can't do anymore. I cannot do anymore. And so that was when I went to my boss and talked about, we knew how powerful that community time was for our cancer survivors. I asked if we could put anything in place for the co-survivors, for them to be able to come in and share and talk about experience they have, to lean on each other, to learn from each other. And she said, it sounds like a gap we've been missing. Please try and fill it, put something together. And so with that, we created the support group. So we've developed the funding to allow support people to come together and meet 6 times during the 12-week program. And we have education pieces for them, communication pieces for them, because communication is the one thing that can hold a relationship together when everything is falling apart, and mutual respect and understanding. And we work on that. And we have a safe place for them to say things that they couldn't say anywhere else, that they can't tell their loved one that I'm exhausted, I'm falling apart, I am getting sick as well, that I don't know how to tell our kids that you might not be here for Christmas. I am afraid and I am angry and I am frustrated. And where else can they say that? So I think we are the only YMCA in the country offering that aspect to the program. And like I said, many programs will offer the community time, but some just strictly focus on that exercise portion and think that's enough. But we found that over and over again, that community aspect is where the healing really happens. So I am so proud of our local Y, that of just how far they will go to wrap their arms around this community.
I need a minute, just because having been a caregiver for my mom who was going through cancer, everything you just said just teared me up a little bit. It just resonates with me because you're right. Cancer does not just impact the person, it impacts everyone, the family. And to be able to have a program that opens up, recognizes that need, and then opens up to accommodate it, to make it happen, to value it, to understand that it's integral to, like you said, the healing process. It's incredible. It really is. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people need to want to hear that. A lot of people gravitate to that we use the words embrace and community, and that's all part of it.
Absolutely. I think not only this disease, but the fear of it, the stigma, it's very isolating, and that we can feel very alone, especially for those who don't have the support system around them, that whatever the situation is, that they don't have the family support or the friend support or the work support to be able to go to deal with their treatment and to feel that they're not alone.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful thing that you're doing here, and I hope that other Livestrong programs do it as well. And we're always talking about capacity and funding challenges and all of that, but to have that determination that we will make this happen here because this is what is needed is so awe-inspiring. It really is. So tell me about, once a participant goes through the program, what happens? Is there a ceremony? Do they continue on? Is there any, alumni group, and the connection? How do you maintain the connection?
Okay. The connections are maintained almost organically because of the friendships and the relationships that are created in this group. You cannot be vulnerable and share some of these heartfelt things without forming deep connections within a group. So at the end of the 12 weeks, we have a big graduation party. And that after that, they have an opportunity to join our alumni group. And the alumni group, there's one that's being offered virtually because we were able to, during the pandemic, pivot to offering our program virtually. Most programs just shut down. So we do have people from across the state and out of the area that they're staying connected virtually. And then we have a very strong, thriving central YMCA alumni group that's been meeting for probably 10 years, that they've got their core people and
Wow.
are always welcoming in new participants. There's a group that just started up at our North Y last fall, and they are continuing to grow. And then one of the most exciting ways for people to continue is, I don't think there's anything that speaks more highly about a program than people wanting to come back and volunteer in the program after they've gone through it. So the Y has a pretty intense vetting program for any volunteers that they need to go through a background check and all. And then to participate in our program, again, there's that high level of training to become what we call a peer mentor that would embed themselves in a group and walk alongside the participants and support the coaches in whatever aspects we might need them. But they can be eyes and ears and just support in a group. And the peer mentors need to go through another 20 hours worth of training. And then they volunteer that time, and then they volunteer to be embedded in a program again for the 12 weeks and showing up 2 nights a week and giving up that time to walk alongside participants. And then there is a further option that someone would become a coach's assistant, and they go through the training that would help enable them to be a little bit more hands-on with coaching participants and help them with the machinery or the exercises that we do, that they go through the training and understanding and the kinesiology and all that, the physiology that would help them be able to be that coach's assistant, but ultimately the coaches are the ones that are in control. So there's several levels of ways to stay connected in whatever level that they feel they have the resources and the ability and the strength and the interest in continuing to participate.
That's great. So you're seeing a lot of former participants turning into peer mentors and volunteers, and any of them turning into certified lifestyle coaches?
Actually, yes. So we have them continue on and go through and become that lifestyle coach
Great.
too. Yeah. So not so much in the Livestrong program, but in one of our other programs, yeah, that we have seen that. And that's the most exciting part, where it just comes full circle. Yes.
Yeah,
And
and like you said, it really speaks highly of the program and the impact on a person that they want to turn around and then help impact others and so forth.
and it's gotten to the point of, we rely very much on these volunteers. And as a coach, I don't know how we did it without them, but when we first started the program and we didn't have that volunteer aspect in place. So they have become a crucial part of our success, and that we can continue and expand and develop the program because we have these volunteers supporting us.
Yeah, volunteers are a nonprofit's lifeblood,
Exactly.
always. What have we not covered that you want to make sure we know?
Basically, that this program is open to anyone who has gone through cancer, no matter how long ago the cancer was. There's some people that'll feel like, "Ah, my cancer was 10, 15 years ago, and I'm totally fine. I'm over it. I've put that period in that part of my life. I don't want to deal with it anymore." And when they come into the program, they realize that there's things that have been festering that have never been dealt with, that they didn't even realize were affecting choices that they were making in their life or how they were reacting, and just kind of that little bit of, like I said, festering stuff that prevented them from moving forward and really thriving in their new life. And the other thing that I think is important to realize is that each person's story is their own, and it is sacred, and that we can't compare one person's experience with another. that we can't look at someone else and say, oh, their cancer was so much worse. They had it so much worse. Or, wow, they had it so much easier than I did. They don't get it. And so that people need to meet themselves right where they're at. And that's where we will meet them as well. So for anyone that is interested in becoming part of the program, that please either reach out to me or you can access our website at YMCA of the Inland Northwest and go to the Healthy Living page, and there's information about Livestrong on it. There's a background about how the program got started with the Livestrong Foundation back in 2007 on their website, Livestrong at the YMCA. That just kind of gives a national overview of the program. Came from basically the foundation, which was started by Lance Armstrong as a result of the trauma that he went through with his cancer and his cancer experience, that they were hearing from survivors that they could not move forward and they couldn't get their feet back underneath them after having this cancer diagnosis, and they wanted something more. And so the Livestrong Foundation partnered with the Yale University and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to create this exercise program. And then as a way to scale it, asked the YMCA to take it on, and the agreement that the YMCA would do it for free and that they would do it forever. So this was a big commitment that the Y made, and I think it's been one of our best commitments as far as reaching the needs of this community. So are having another orientation scheduled in July. I believe it's July 31st. It's a Wednesday evening. And it will be virtual. I think it's at 7 p.m. So anyone that would like to register to do that, those people that register for that and do the readiness interviews, after that get preferential placement into the next program that will be coming up at the Central YMCA starting in September.
That sounds great. You gave us so much good information. I feel like I really understand the program better. I understand not only the physical benefits of participating, but that strong community and emotional support as well. I'm glad that you could share this, that you could share it with the Inland Northwest community. We have a lot of good programs out here, but sometimes I feel like we work in silos, and to be able to share it out, pass it out, is the way we get people involved and get that information out there. So thank you so much for spending this time and sharing not only about the program, but your own personal story and some other great stories that really highlight this program.
Thank you for this opportunity. And you're right that we've been working in silos for quite a while, and that just the opportunity to network and connect and hear about what other people are doing. And when someone's got something they're doing well, I'd love to pass people off to them that could really use those resources rather than one group trying to do it all. We just can't. So when we hear of other groups that are meeting those gaps that they're finding, I think it's the best thing we can possibly do is just network to meet all the needs of this community, because they are so deep and so wide and affect so much that, one organization just can't possibly do it. So, thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Thank you for leading this program and developing it and turning it into what it has become today.
Thank you, Terry, and thank you, Mary Jo, for a wonderful conversation. If you are a survivor listening to this episode and you live in the Inland Northwest or Spokane, like Mary Jo said, the YMCA of the Inland Northwest has their next virtual orientation for the Livestrong program coming up on Wednesday, July 31st. To get more information, please visit the link in the episode description. If you're not located in Spokane, I would highly encourage you to check out your local YMCA to see if they are involved in the Livestrong program. Before closing out our last episode of June, I want to make a final plug to join the National Marrow Donor Program, or NMDP, formerly Be the Match, registry using our code. It's truly as simple as swabbing your cheek. I actually just did it this afternoon, with the potential to save a life and allow someone to get through cancer treatment successfully. To join, text Cancer Pathways, all one word, capital C, capital P, to the number 61474. You'll see a brief video with 4 things you should know prior to signing up, and then we'll fill out a brief form. After that, you will be mailed a free testing swab kit. I will also have a link to this sign-up form in our episode description. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to listen to our last episode full of so much great information about the donation process. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, please stay healthy and well.